The Russian Defense Ministry warning that Turkey could be preparing for an invasion of Syria.
We have grounds to suspect Turkey is gearing up for an invasion. We have traced growing signs of stealth preparations by Turkish troops for military action in Syria.
All right, well, RT's Daniel Hawkins is with me now. So just talked about it. We broke this about last hour. Details coming in, still a bit sketchy, but it was after the Defence Ministry spoke earlier on in Moscow. Take us through what they had to say.
Well, as we heard there, the press secretary of the Ministry of Defence, Major General Igor Konashenkov, has cited evidence of this potential growing threat of Turkish military action on Syrian soil. And the evidence he cites for that is, of course, today's earlier news of this banning of that Russian observation flight. Now, what this means, under the Open Skies Treaty, countries that are signatories to this pact can actually fly over each other's territory to observe borders, to observe military deployments, etc. Now, Turkey has refused that Russian flight to observe that very volatile cross-border zone. He also cites last Monday's incident of the shelling of the Syrian village, you may remember, in North Latakia by Turkish forces. He says that these sorts of incidents are becoming more and more frequent, more and more common. And he cites this as an active preparation of some sort of incursion onto Syrian territory.
And the banning of this flight you're talking about just then could be basically to stop the flight seeing what was going on below. That's the idea behind it, was it?
Absolutely,
and this possible incursion. It's not the first time that Turkey has had desires or aims to cross over the border, is it? This wouldn't be a new thing.
Well, we've got to remember, Kevin, the whole area is a tinderbox. It's so volatile. There's so many groups here at play, and it's hard to get concrete and verifiable information out at any given time. Last Tuesday, we received a video from some Kurdish groups that, of course, control that whole northern area in Syria, alleging Turkish tanks and Turkish bulldozers building fortifications on the Syrian side of the border. Let's take a look at that video now.
On December 22nd, Turkish military crossed the border. We told them they are violating our rights and trespassing on private land. They told us they have an order from above to move the border. Then they brought in the excavator and started working, even though local residents walked out onto the border to protest.
So this video we just saw, Kevin, of course, it's not been officially verified yet, but we are getting a lot of this information from the various Kurdish factions that control that area of northern Syria. In fact, that video we saw, that's the reason for that protest, this alleged incursion into Syrian space. And of course, the other factor here is the discussion last summer, between the US and Turkey about establishing some sort of buffer zone on the Turkish-Syrian border, which was met with great agitation, as you can imagine, by the Kurds, because they view this as a further incursion by Turkey into the areas controlled by them.
We saw the locals out protesting just this weekend about it, didn't we? I mean, you just said now, Dan, this whole area is a real tinderbox. It's such a delicate area, so many things at play there as well. What would Turkey's aims be here?
Well, Turkey's primary concern is the Kurdish problem. They're facing a very difficult situation in the south of the country at the moment. We've covered that extensively with those protests going on to an all-out, almost mini-civil war in southern Turkey. They're using heavy artillery, heavy shelling, etc., and accusations of mass civilian casualties, indeed, by the UN as well as other humanitarian agencies. So Turkey certainly would seek to prevent any sort of Kurdish military build-up in that North Syrian territory, which, of course, is what has been happening over the last couple of years. Of course, the other factor, and again, to stress, this is purely speculation, northern Syria does allegedly have oil wells. And, of course, anywhere where there's oil, there is motivation to establish some sort of control and secure zone.
Gotcha. Dan Hawkins, thanks for the update there and that insight. Appreciate it.